Welcome to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast, a journey in competitive self-improvement.
Bear witness as the three of us endeavor to improve our lives by competing in a series of low-stakes challenges.
In each episode, we will come up with a challenge and then define the rules or metrics for victory.
We will have 2 weeks to do our best, and at the end, one of us will be crowned victor. Hi, I'm true believer and poetic soul, Mike Collins.
Hello, I'm Master Yogi, Master of Wind, the Songsmith, the busiest beaver, Dan Collins.
And I'm Future Corpse, Travis Skrenicus Brabin, the Silver Tongue. We each have one idea for a challenge for us to attempt in the next 2 weeks. After we've all presented, we'll decide whose idea is the best. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I have one that I'm kind of excited about. So, there, in the world that we live in, there's a lot of anxiety, anger, fear, darkness, and it's important to acknowledge that and to feel those feelings, you know. However, I would like to, for the next couple weeks, be a beacon of light, as it were. I want us to be very, very positive. I want us to try not to get angry. I want us to take problems and see them as opportunities for growth. Maybe avoid using foul language. Don't raise our voice. And that's sort of the internal feeling, you know, just sort of be positive. Sometimes, you know, you need to feel sad or angry or whatever. Those are also very important. But I think we should try to be very positive, and not only internally, but also externally. So that would be complimenting people. That would be saying nice things to everybody that we see. And just be a beacon of light, make people's worlds better and happier that you're there. And what the thought I had for a metric for this was, how many smiles can we collect?
Oh. What? That sounds like the most serial killer thing ever. Like collecting smiles.
Smile collector. Yes. I had that thought too.
I quite like this, Dan. Actually, just you like talking about it, kind of was like, oh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like I said, you know, you have to acknowledge if you're feeling sad or something. That's not bad. You know, sometimes we feel sad or angry, but let's try not to. Yeah, let's try to just be positive and happy, and I want to try to make as many people smile as possible. Doesn't that just sound like a nice thing?
I really like this idea, and I would be happy to do it. I will say, not raising your voice definitely tilts the scales in your favor because you don't have kids.
You can get up close to
Travis,
them. And
that being said, it's really easy to make your kids smile, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think rather than just smile collector, which sounds terrible, because it would be like nice things done for people or resisting bad things, right? You know, resisting negative impulses and doing nice things for others, right? Not specifically smiles.
Trying to make trying to make the world a more cheerful place.
Holding doors open, saying good morning.
What I would say is, like, if we're going to choose this one, then it would have to be sincere smiles.
Yeah,
not those kind of like slightly hateful ones you get in the hallway at work.
It's like where you see somebody and you have to acknowledge that they're there, but you don't want to start a conversation. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's great.
I'll go next. So this was actually one of the original ideas that I had when positing this podcast to you guys. But it's kind of on the simple side, but I think that we should beef up and do push-ups. And the metric is going to be percentage most improved, because I know we're kind of all in varying degrees of physical fitness, but the challenge would be that every day we'd be doing, pumping it out, push-ups, and then at the end of the 2 weeks, who improved the most percentage-wise. So
Okay.
simple, elegant push-ups.
Okay.
Yeah, I could get behind that. I will mention I had like the most minor surgery tomorrow that I don't know what my recovery is going to be there, so that might put a dampener on my push-up performance.
Are
But
they
Yeah.
doing surgery on your pectorals?
no,
Push-up muscles.
Then you're fine.
sure.
Trust me, I'm not a doctor.
Dan spends a lot of time with doctors, so he has a
That's
trustworthy
true.
opinion.
Probably shouldn't do that.
Dan gave out medical advice.
That's my medical opinion.
All right, I'll do mine here. As Dan mentioned, we all know the apocalypse is coming, and when that happens, we'll have to get creative in our means for maintaining positive mental health, and we'll also have to scavenge the wasteland for materials and things to use. So, in preparation for that, I think the next challenge should be who can make the best music with the most handmade instruments. No power tools. We'd each make a song. It doesn't need to be only your handmade instruments, but they need to be prominently featured. And the most creative instrument and best song wins.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like a lot of work too.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Handmade instrument. Okay.
All right. So I gotta say, I think I'm leaning towards Dan's. I like mine. I like yours. I mean, the one that Travis, yours sounds like the most fun out of all of them, I think. But but we have already kind of done one of those.
Making a song?
Yeah, making a song.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm on board with Dance too. That was a great one.
I want to do mine.
All right.
All right,
Done and
that's it.
done.
That's what we're
Sometimes it's
doing
easy.
I've honestly been thinking about this one, and I've been really excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I just want to like an excuse to be overly nice and positive. Just seems like a kind of a fun thing.
Yeah.
I will say, I think you are predisposed towards general happiness. At least that's
I was gonna
my
say.
perception of you from the outside.
Like, generally speaking, two crusty ex-Marines are not the jolliest, most jovial people on the planet. I mean, I know
you guys are jovial. Come on.
a lot of, I'm jovial to myself, but a lot of that comes out as me being a complete jerk to everyone around me. 'Cause that's how I have fun. I mean, I'm not really, but yeah, a little bit.
I don't think you're a jerk. Maybe it's you're like your sergeant coming out when you're talking to people.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like there is an element of brainwashing here, where the expression of like you're taught very like rigidly, I guess, to not display emotion, to be stoic in your facial area. The
Or
1,000-yard stare or
generally
whatever.
either have no emotions or be generally angry.
You're
That's
talking
where
about
you want
like
to be.
as the Marines.
Yeah.
What are you
Yes.
talking about? Oh, okay.
And you do shed some of that over time, but there is like a baseline anger that's residual.
You're like the Hulk. You're always angry.
Yeah, definitely like the Hulk.
Well, just take
Yeah.
that anger and twist it into joy.
Turn that frown upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Just walk around with a
I'm,
creepy smile all day.
I'm absolutely down to do it. I think Dan is gonna walk away with this one, but
Nope. We're gonna. Another thing they taught us in the Marine Corps is to overcome Adapt and overcome.
Honor, courage, commitment, Travis.
There you go. Semper Fi, brother.
Yeah.
So
It's like you guys are part of this club that I'm not invited to.
Dan just is in the corner smiling nicely.
yeah, by not being in the
you're
club,
doing
you
great.
get to enjoy happiness. Let's iron out a little bit here. I like the metric being loose and kind of amorphous, but we should say, broadly speaking, we're talking about doing nice things for others, resisting negative emotions, getting down. What other criteria might benefit in this challenge?
I mean, I think it starts internally, with avoiding negative, but I think the external effect on other people is more of what I want to accomplish with this one. Like be a beacon of happiness.
Okay. So are we gonna go with sincere smiles, or at least what we interpret to be sincere smiles as our thing? So we need to start tallying people.
I'll be honest, I'm not going to count people's smiles. I'm not going to pull out a book and their corner of their mouth turned a little bit. I'm counting it.
Yeah, that's that would be kind of hard to keep track of, huh?
I mean, we can keep it kind of loose and just say discuss our experience with it and see I think there's a layer of improvement here. This is what I normally do, and then after these 2 weeks of being a happy person, this is what I normally do or have been doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We just kind of do the most nice things for people, and we can kind of keep track of what we do, and then sort of like the busiest beaver thing, we can kind of say I did this thing and this thing and this thing, or we can kind of tally what we do, because we can't control how other people perceive or respond to the things we do.
Yeah.
We really only have control of ourselves, so I think that should kind of be the guiding factor.
Yeah.
Okay. So more about acts of kindness is what you're.
Well, I mean, I think keeping track of the smiles that you cause is, certainly you can do that, and you can bring that to the table when we reconvene. Like, I made this many people grin, this many people show teeth.
This let's really hammer in here. Yeah.
Yeah. This one was smiling with their mouth, but frowning with their eyes. I got 6 of those. So
right. So
okay,
kind of leave it a little loosey goosey, but
I would say bring what metrics you can pull out of it. So so bring whatever you figure out to the table, and if you figure out something that's better than the other people, then more power to you.
Yeah.
So
okay.
What do we think for the honorific?
The smile collector.
No, please no.
Beacon of light.
Beacon of
light's good. I was thinking beacon something.
Shining beacon.
The beacon of happiness. Positive Pete.
Professor Smiles.
Ray of sunshine.
Oh, I like that.
Mr. Sunshine.
Mr. Sunshine. I like that one.
Senior Sunshine. No. Doesn't translate well. I like Mr. Sunshine.
Mr. Sunshine.
Is that? I feel like that's a character on.
I'm sure it's
something.
Been a character 10 times over, but
there's a song that's pretty sweet.
Mr. Sunshine.
How's it go, Mike?
I don't remember. I just know it's a song.
Okay.
That's how it goes.
Google tells me it's a Korean TV show, but I think we're safe. I think we can use it.
All right. Are we going with
Mr. Sunshine? Yeah.
Mr. Sunshine. Well, I mean, all right. Yeah, let's go with it. That was my idea. That's a good idea. Let's go with that one. Forecast. What do you guys think?
Well, I think we talked about it a little bit. I think Dan's got the predisposition, but I do think we have. I think you're at a disadvantage, Mike, for your aforementioned hesitance to engage with human beings. As you said in the last episode of the podcast, you generally don't like talking to people, or generally don't. It takes a lot of momentum to get you to do it.
This is true. Yeah.
So I think Dan or I probably have the most opportunity for engagements with people.
Yep.
So that's
definitely
something.
true. But also, I feel like if I go out of my comfort bubble and re-engage with humanity, that would kind of work in my favor.
Yeah, you have the most room for improvement possible.
There you go.
Right now, all you do is suck the happiness out of the air. So it'll be good to turn that around. Maybe
Just a hate sponge.
You see how I made that positive? I'm already working on it.
So I'll just be a beam of sunshine. All right. So we have our challenge. We have our metric. We have our honorific. Let's do this.
Hi, folks. While we're taking this break here, just wanted to stop and say thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the show, it's helpful if you leave a review or you comment, or just tell your friends about the show. You can do that in a lot of ways, whatever's convenient for you. We're on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. You can shoot us an email. That works great too. You can tell us what you're thinking about the show, or if you have any good ideas for challenges, we'd like to hear that as well.
Yeah, so if you want to send an email, we're at perpetualincompetence@gmail.com. All one word, no spaces or hyphens or anything. And then on Twitter, we are at incompetentpod, and Instagram, we're perpetual_incompetence. All these links will be in the show notes for the podcast, so that's probably the easiest way for you to find them and to reach out to us.
If you'd like to join us in the challenges, we'll be posting them to Twitter as soon as we start them. We try not to discuss the challenges with each other during the 2 weeks while we are actually doing them, so that we can save those juicy morsels for when we come back to discuss them on the show. So we would love nothing more than to hear about your guys' experiences, thoughts about the show, or just pop in to say hello. So if the spirit moves you, we'd love to hear from you. Anyway, back to the show.
Welcome back to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast. As a reminder, we recorded the first part of the podcast 2 weeks ago, and since then, we've worked to create as much joy in the world as possible. Let's discuss our initial thoughts and lessons learned first, and then we'll talk about how nice of people we've been these last few weeks. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first this time. Yeah. So, this one was a little bit of a struggle for me, kind of due to the same problem that I had with the silver-tongued episode. Just that I don't talk to that many people, so I was trying my best to remain chipper when talking to people in the hallway and at work and stuff like that. But we kind of discussed this in the first half, but the, as far as collecting smiles, I was starting to count them in the beginning of kind of the 2 weeks, but I determined that the ones that I'm getting at work do not count. Like, as you're walking down the hall and you're like, "Oh, hi, morning," give them a smile, and they're like, "Eh." And then, and like, as you turn your head and they walk past you, you can see that smile fade away into just, like they would have preferred not to have passed me in the hallway. So, I stopped counting the smiles. So if you guys have a high count, that's good for you.
No, I didn't even try.
No, I didn't. I think I mentioned in the first part, like I didn't plan on counting smiles, and if we were counting smiles, I would have smoked you guys, because our youngest daughter Eve is like an infinite smile machine. Because every time I look at her, she smiles. Like she's like the most jovial little baby. So if we were counting, I would have absolutely crushed you guys.
I
She is a happy baby.
I think I did actually. Now that I think about it, I think at first I did start counting smiles because I was really because it was the next Monday morning after we had recorded. Went into work, and I always, Monday mornings, I'm always like, I feel I don't I hate Mondays, like the orange cat, and especially if I haven't finished my coffee yet, I'm just miserable, and I don't want to be there. But like, I try to make jokes anytime, just to make myself feel better, and I think I get smiles. So I think I counted maybe up to like 5 smiles, and then I was like, I don't want to do this. That was like the first 5 minutes of being there. I wasn't gonna. There was no way that was gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the record, speaking of counting, I determined it is worth buying one of those the little clicker things, you know.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good idea.
So I haven't actually ordered it yet, but it's in my cart on Amazon. So
Yeah, we
I
should for a future episode. I could see that being a
yeah,
useful tool.
I think
Yeah,
it'll come up again.
I mentioned this to you, Mike, before, but I think we should. I already have like a fit watch or whatever. I think you guys should get some element of that, one that does at least heart rate and steps, because we could use that for metric tracking in future episodes.
Yeah.
Just a organizational note there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
go ahead, Mike.
yeah. Let me finish my my thought here. So, I had a lot of big plans for how I was going to be the spread the most joy. But we've kind of been sick around my house and kind of been hanging around the house, so a lot of that stuff kind of went out the window. For the record, my biggest plan that I was really excited to do, and I think I still might do, it was to get a bunch of postcards and just send really nice notes to everyone I know in the mail.
I was thinking about doing that same thing, but I didn't do it either.
Yeah, so that fell through. So what this ended up being was more of a keeping a positive mental attitude towards just things in general, and which has proven to be kind of a, it's like everything else. When you draw attention to it, that we've been learning here, it's you find like your tendencies kind of might not skew the way that you would like them. So I wouldn't say I'm a cranky guy. I'm a generally, try to remain somewhat happy to the best of my abilities, but I will say that I'm easily annoyed by many things. I think it comes with being a cranky old man.
Sure.
But yeah, but the so I've caught myself several times kind of just being like, "Rah, yeah, kids with their, with their pants and their music, you know." so so I've been trying to alter that attitude. But I will say the best day I think I've had so far, just in this whole experience, was Lindsay was sick for a whole day basically, and I was watching the kids. But my youngest daughter, my 2-year-old Ruby, she's at that age where she kind of doesn't want much to do with dad. It's all about mom, But I spent the whole day with her and the boys, and for the following week, Ruby has been my little ray of sunshine. So if I find myself getting kind of crabby or cranky, I just kind of sit and watch Ruby be just extraordinarily cute. And
She is super cute.
she's a cute little kid. And it's just been very delightful. And then since I've, spent a whole bunch of time with her recently, she gets more clingy to me, which is extra cute, because then she's like, "Papa," and she comes up and gives me a hug. She's like
That's
she's like
adorable.
18 inches tall or something. It's
Yeah.
very cute. So
Well,
anyway,
that's a success.
yeah, that was a success. So me and Ruby have been very happy together. And so that's been good. So I mean, I wasn't able to spread as much joy, but I was trying to, spread it around my house at any rate. So so there you go.
All right. Yeah, you gotta start it at home. That makes sense.
Yeah. You spread joy to a little girl.
Yeah.
Oh, is
All right, Dan.
that's
Uh,
yeah, so yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it started on a Monday, and my first idea of how I was going to do this was to just sort of be super positive. At work, I have to talk constantly to many people, and I have to greet people as they come in the door and that sort of thing. And I was just going to be like, today's going to be a great day. We're going to do really great. Everything's, yeah, you look great today. I love your shoes. I was going to be like that. But it was like a Monday, and like I didn't get much sleep the night before, so I was saying those things, but I was also not feeling that positive. And and the thing is, when you say those things but you don't feel it behind them, people can tell.
they
It's
definitely
like,
know. Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah. So
today.
instead of thinking that maybe you like their shoes, they're thinking that maybe you're going to steal their shoes.
or like
Or they're like thinking that
so,
you're like being passive aggressive.
yeah.
Like, oh, I can't believe those shoes.
Well, I was like, I remember coming in the morning and be like, yeah, today's gonna be a great day. It's what I want, beautiful weather today. Just like I think I just sounded like super facetious. Um, but so I determined after that Monday, I think I came to be better later in the day. But I decided that I need to be internally happy before I can be externally happy. So I made a playlist. I got Spotify Premium,
Nice.
which
Welcome.
is
Yeah.
free for the first 2 months. I'm going to cancel it before I had to pay for it. But I have it right now because because when you listen to Spotify and then it plays ads, that there's nothing that makes me more angry than that. But I put together a really long playlist of all the songs that I could think of that make me happy or like pumped for the
Yeah.
next thing to come. And I think it was the Tuesday after work on my way home, I was blasting like Venga Boys going
Nice.
down, or and my commute home is like 30 minutes of stop and go, and I drive a manual, which is very exhausting. You're just hitting that clutch constantly.
Yeah.
And it's usually a pretty upsetting time, but I was blasting all this music that made me happy, and I was actually having a really good time. So the first week I was feeling really good. And like when you listen to, what's that song? What is that song?
Oh, the Venga Boys.
Well, We Like to Party was my
Right.
coming home. The Final Countdown is, I
Okay.
listened to that on my
Oh
way
yeah.
to work, and that worked really
Europe?
well. Is it by Europe?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
Listen to that song on your way to work on Monday. It'll make you want to get work done. I'm telling you.
Sure.
So basically, I did that, and it worked. I was internally happy, and I had plans to do things for people and just try to spread joy extracurricular outside of my regular thing, but I didn't really get around to doing a whole lot of that. So I sort of like you did, Mike. I just was trying to be very positive, and I like you said, I would catch myself when I would get frustrated with something and just say, nope. Well, and I try to put positive spin on things. And it worked sort of for the first week. And then this last week, I had off of work. So I didn't really interact with people that much. And it's really hard to be positive when you're just by yourself. And I discovered that I had been forcing myself to be so positive and optimistic around people that I just sort of wanted to be negative for a while. So I felt kind of down, honestly. I think I used up all my positivity. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to sit in a dark room and watch documentaries about serial killers and that sort of
Jeez.
thing, you know. And I did that. I did a lot of that,
Yeah, that's
and
a hard left.
it was cathartic though. I don't
I
know.
think I think what you're getting at is that the importance of balance, right? And that if you
Yeah,
Yeah.
push too far in one direction, you generally are going to snap back to the other side. It's
yeah.
Well, it's
yeah.
there's that. I don't think it's beneficial to like fake being overly happy when you're, you know,
I
I,
think if you're somebody that forces yourself to be happy 24/7 without break, you end up being the subject of one of those documentaries, and then you kill somebody.
yeah, accurate.
Yeah. So, and that's basically like I would say I've come out of this slump of sitting in a dark room. I did that for a couple days, but I mean, I don't think I feel like I've been very unimpressive with this. I didn't do very much. I tried to just be a positive, happy person, which is good. And I think the catching myself when I get frustrated and say like, no, 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 we got to be positive was very, very good. And I think mentally it's a very good thing to do. And I forcing yourself to be positive I've sort of been able to retrain my brain just even thinking about it, you know.
Yeah,
If you have starting to have kind of negative thoughts, you just stop yourself and say, wait, let's just try to be positive with this. I think that's a really healthy thing, and I think I've definitely it's not something you can fix in 2 weeks to become a happy person, or like you become
Right.
like a optimistic person, but it's like a start, and I feel like I definitely made that. So yeah,
you
I
know,
think
that's basically where I'm at with this right now.
a lot of this reminds me of the Future Corpse episode because the it reminds me a lot of the mindfulness uh meditation that I was doing during that time, because it's a lot of the kind of the whole point of that is to experience your emotions but don't get drawn into them, you know what I mean? So you might have some negative stressful emotions and stuff and you say I acknowledge you, you know,
Well,
and
yeah.
then you
I mean,
and
that's
then
basically what this was a like practice in,
yeah,
I
you know,
think.
and I well I think it's, you know, it's kind of it's very related, it's all related,
It's all
but
related.
you know, I think there is value there, and that is that's the point of the mindfulness meditation. It's training your brain so that when you have that kind of, when you start getting sucked down, they can say like, well, I'm not going to allow myself to get sucked down, but I am going to acknowledge that I feel this way, and then let it pass.
Hmm.
I
You know,
think your approach though, Dan, your idea of like setting the tone of your day with music, both on the way into and returning from work, is probably a pretty good life hack. If you have a commute, like
It was surprisingly effective.
yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
I absolutely
it
believe
was
that.
definitely fine tuned to my personal weird taste of songs that make me happy. But I think people should make a playlist of songs when they just want to be positive.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
into
I
that.
think that's a great idea, and I will definitely be doing that because like we always think about the other direction, right? And that music reflects or can reflect emotions, both positive and negative, or whatever. But
Yeah.
I have never considered using music to affect emotions, you know, in a what's a corollary, a causation way, not a correlation way.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, I've done that before for like, you know, if you think back when I used to work out in the gym,
sure,
you know, and listen to like metal music to get all like pumped up, like yeah, lifting heavy things,
Yeah.
and then
Well, and
so
I had to when I was making this playlist, I didn't pick songs that I necessarily were like my favorite songs. I picked songs that maybe I didn't even really listen to, that were like Final Countdown's not a song I would just like listen to for fun. But I knew that it's a
you're
song. When you listen to it, it's just like, yes, let's do this. You know what I mean?
The time is now.
all right. Yeah, that's great. I think that's if nothing else, that's a great takeaway from this episode. I'll launch into my spiel if you guys are on board.
I'm
Go
ready
for
for
it.
you.
All right. I also started this challenge. You know, we mentioned in the first part of this that I have maybe a predisposition towards the sarcasm, or not the brightest, cheeriest person. So I tried to not do that. I tried to be better about it. I will say I don't know. I think I pretty quickly discovered that trying to force myself to be jovial and happy on the outside, or like just, I realized pretty quickly that I wasn't going to overcome my internal disposition. But that doesn't mean that I didn't try to still do nice things for people. So on last Monday when we started this, I Monday night I went and I helped a friend set up a piano. So that was a nice thing. He did pay me some money, so maybe that detracts from it a little bit. And I was thinking about this challenge a little bit before we started recording, and that like the people that we mention, as far as like, oh, I did this nice thing for this person, if they listen to this, I'm like, oh, is that why he was helping me, or is that why he did the nice thing? Like, I was gonna assume we had ulterior motives, which is not the case, but it will sure seem like it.
I actually I would mention that to people. I'm like, yeah, for the podcast, I'm trying to be positive, and they're like, oh, that's why you've been so like weirdly cheery today. I'm like, oh crap, no.
Yeah, so better to
felt
not
bad
mention
about
it.
that. Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't have said anything.
I actually hate being around you people, but
But yeah, so with that disclaimer out there, so Monday I did that, and then on the way back from helping him, I was like, you know what, I'll do something nice. So I picked up ice cream for Holly and the kids, and well, myself. So we had ice cream Monday night, and then Ada and I got like the flu Monday night. Ada, like in the middle of the night, he was like throwing up and stuff. And I have found that nothing puts me in like a down mindset more than having sick kids.
yeah.
It's the worst, man. Like that, I think is
Yeah.
singularly the worst part of being a parent is when your kids are sick and they don't feel good. You can't do anything. So that was a major challenge for me to try to maintain any semblance of positivity through that. So when Ada was sick and then Otto and Olivia got sick too, it's the worst. So I did not do a great job of being upbeat and positive during that
Yeah.
time. I mean, I did help and stuff like that. And when the kids were still sick, I stayed home with the kids so that Holly could go and do 4th of July with her family. So that was a nice thing. But then again, like some of this is hard to separate. What, like, these are just things I would do normally too, probably. So hard to justify what's doing a nice thing for someone and what is just regular behavior.
So as the
So,
change comes in, like how much were you grumbling about it? Like I suppose
well,
I'll
I
do
didn't, I
this.
didn't grumble, I guess, but I don't typically grumble about that either. I don't know. So yeah, other than being sick, I was generally, I think, pretty good. I'm not like an outwardly cheery typically, but I was more forthcoming with, I guess, praise. I am in charge of an intern at work, so I was being, hey, good job, you're learning, I appreciate you, that sort of thing.
I
So I
don't.
hope,
Yeah.
and he deserved it. It's true, but I think that the giving of praise is something that's not done enough in this world. I like in How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think that's one of the things that Dale Carnegie mentions is that people like to be praised for things, and it's a way of like really. I mean, you can give people a pat on the back or whatever. For you, that doesn't cost anything, but for somebody, that might be a huge accolade. That might be, make them smile for a week.
Yeah,
So
just simple like real compliments are a very powerful thing, and surprisingly, it's they're not people don't compliment people that often, even
Yeah.
even if they
Really.
feel like they like, wow, that they look really good today. Like, if you can just say that, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real thing. I mean, I guess I wasn't really counting it for this because it's not really a change, but that's something I've been trying to do just in my everyday life for
Yeah.
a while now. It's just like, hey, way to go.
Good work.
It's funny that you mentioned the intern because I sit across from the intern, and he was also the subject of me trying to be earlier.
He was just our guinea pig.
Probably gonna like for these 2 weeks, like, man, these guys are really nice, and then now it's like now he gets the
Get back to
real
work.
guys. You idiot.
No, he's solid. He was just
he is.
yeah. So yeah, that overall positivity. I did try to give more compliments. I did try to be a source of positivity on our team. We have a Teams app and like a little team chat. So I put lots of fun GIFs in there, but I then again I always do that. Hopefully as a way of because like GIFs in those team chats bring me joy, and I hope it brings other people joy. So did a lot of that these last few weeks.
They did, Travis.
Okay, that's good to hear. I brought cookies in for my team. I brought beef sticks in for my team. These are these are my justification, by the way. These are the nice things. So prepare yourself.
Okay.
I was talking about I forget what CSA stands for, but it's like a local co-op thing that you can sign up for and get local produce. I was talking about that to a coworker and he was interested, so I got him set up on that. So I have finagled a way to get him fresh produce or enable him to get his own fresh produce. So that was nice for him. I encouraged Holly to buy a bunch of fabric so that she can develop resourcefulness. She wants to do like almond or like cashew nut milk or something. So encourage her to buy all that stuff. Again, probably would have anyway, but I'm really gonna sell that for this challenge.
You don't have to say that you would have done it already, Travis.
I mean, in the spirit of honesty.
Okay.
And on that same vein, I took auto fishing, and he caught his first trout that stayed in the net long enough to take a picture of. So
Nice.
that was fun. Let's see. I referred someone a book that they ended up enjoying. Referred to music. And hey, do you guys know what makes me smile?
What's that, Travis?
Gainful employment. So I thought that other people might feel the same way. So I donated 4 hoodies, 1 sweater, 13 button-ups, 4 polos, 16 dress pants, and 8 white dress shirts to like a local men's shelter for like interviews and stuff. So I hope that some of those make people smile.
That's
I
like
volunteered.
a real, actual good thing you did in the world.
Good job, Travis.
Thanks. I'll take all your praise, please. I mentioned at the beginning of this, like, it does feel genuinely weird trying to list these things off, like, oh, I'm such a good and nice person.
Well, that's our challenge. We get a pass.
That's the game.
For today, we get a pass. It's okay to brag about the good things you did.
All right. I got a couple more. Let's see. I volunteered to take a coworker's support last week, which support is not fun. So I thought that was a nice thing. Again, it might have come down to me anyway, but honesty and such. I supported a local artist by buying their art, and then we're going to give some of it away. So I have financially incentivized more beauty in the world, if you really lean on that.
That's, yeah, I mean, legit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holly's got like sciatic pain, so I gave her a back rub or a couple of back rubs over the last 2 weeks, trying to alleviate some of that. We went berry picking with the family today, and then also went to an antique store. Holly and I did, and I insisted that she buy something because left to her own devices, she typically won't. But I try to like make her buy the things she wants. So yeah. Though these are my things. This is how nice of a person I am.
You're a pretty nice guy, Travis.
Pretty nice guy,
Thanks.
Travis. Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I feel immensely weird trying to brag about myself. I'm going to stop now.
That's Hey, that's a sign of humility, which is also a positive thing.
Yeah.
I
Overall,
mean,
this challenge was strange. It didn't.
it feels
I don't
kind of
know.
unnatural, I would say,
Yes.
Yeah,
to kind of
yeah.
force
Yeah.
yourself to do good things that you should be doing anyways. But sometimes you need a little push, you know? You forget that you got to
Well,
do nice things.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, it's a little odd to be like, yeah, I'm gonna make people feel good, or like, but it doesn't. I think it is just that, it doesn't take much on your end to do these
Yeah.
things, but it can really make somebody's day if you do them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think if
I
there are
mean,
two major takeaways from this episode, it's the give compliments because people love compliments and don't hear them enough, and also I think the music is a real life hack. Using
yeah,
music
that's a
to
good one.
influence your mood, that's great.
I came up with that myself.
You're a
I
genius.
I think it also kind of reinforces that whole mindfulness thing where you don't have to get swept away with the stresses and annoyances. You can it's okay to experience your emotions, but you don't have to be controlled by them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
kind of
I think you we talked a little bit about it. It's better to experience them and not get swept away than
yeah.
to try to control them. It's one thing
Yes.
to be controlled by them, which is bad, but I think it's also bad to try to control them, rather than just being neutral.
Or like ignore them, that
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just push them down and then let them bottle up. That's the
Yeah.
best way to do it.
Nice and fermented feelings.
Yeah.
All right,
Uh
let's do the hard part.
It's
okay.
not hard. Travis
It's
wins.
Travis won. I
Yeah.
think it comes down to the fact that Travis kept better track of the things he did. I
I mean, I had plans. Like, I was gonna do that mail, just like nice letters out to people, which wouldn't have been a big deal. I just didn't do it.
yeah.
I was gonna go play music. I was thinking I might even do like that free hug thing, that people do.
Oh
Sure.
yeah.
Probably
I had
less
all
since
these plans.
COVID, but
I didn't do any of them, and I feel like I could have done so much better. But I honestly think I pushed too hard in the positivity, and I just was like,
burned
I
out.
don't want it anymore. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I guess Travis listed a bunch of fun stuff he did with his family. I basically was hanging around my family the whole time, and I wasn't really counting it, but like we did a bunch of fun stuff that was fun, like with my kids. I set up a camping trip with Finn. Me and Lindsay did tie dye with the kids.
Nice.
Did all kinds of fun stuff, but it's kind of hard to feel like that counts. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels
That's a
weird because it's
yeah.
like kind of normal stuff, right? That's just dad
Yeah.
stuff that you're talking about. But I did a
But I
better
mean,
job of
This is one
selling
of
it.
these.
I could very easily have just sat on my butt and watched TV while Lindsay did those things.
Yeah, but this is one of these rare occasions where I think you guys have a strong advantage on this. Where I don't have a family to like, I don't have kids that I can like, hey, you want to go to the zoo? I could
You
have
could
done
go.
that.
You could just go offer to people on the street. Hey, do your kids want to go with me to the zoo?
I could have. Well, no, that would be weird.
All right. Well, I'm glad. Anytime we're having kids it gives us an advantage in these challenges. I will take that because there are many times
Yeah.
when that's not the case.
This is true. All right, but yeah, I'm comfortable giving this one to Travis.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. I will take all of the praise and yeah. I don't know. I'm glad to win, but I'm also glad to be done. It feels a little dirty trying to because we talked about other people thinking that we had ulterior motives. I start to wonder
Yeah.
am I doing this for ulterior reasons also?
Well, that's like a whole philosophical thing. Like, do we do good things to make ourselves look better? Do we do good things for other people? We don't know. That's a whole nother conversation that we don't
I
have
mean,
time.
Yeah, we don't
get
have time for
into it.
that. No.
Okay. All right.
All right,
I mean,
cool.
but when will we have time, you guys? When will we have time?
No, you can talk about it after the podcast.
Well, okay, no.
No.
Well, that it defeats the purpose. Okay.
All
Closing
right.
thoughts, anybody? think we
I
kinda
think my big takeaway. I thought this was going to be really easy. This was way more. This is probably one of the hardest ones we've done for me, to just be like a positive person, which is a weird thing to say, but like just kind of trying to keep a positive attitude is way more difficult than it sounds. It's something that takes practice.
Yeah. I agree with you, Dan. I think my big takeaway is how easy it is. Like, you don't necessarily have to be feeling good inside to make somebody else feel good, Even if your day is going bad, you can always say, go to somebody at work and be like, "Hey, you're doing a real good job today." Well, good for you. Or
Well,
whatever.
maybe don't, say it better than that, but yeah.
Speaking
Like I
of,
said, I don't talk to a lot of people, so
could use a little work.
it's like, hey, you're doing a good job today. So go write that in your diary. It's just something
Mr.
awful.
Good at his job over here. Look at this guy.
Yeah, this guy.
He's so good at his job.
Why don't we all come around and give him a round of applause?
Yeah.
For doing such a good job.
Jeez. Speaking of doing nice things for people, there's somebody on Apple Podcasts called Player 54563. They left us a really nice review, and that was nice, and that made us feel good. So, if anybody out there wants to leave us some reviews, it theoretically helps the podcast, but it's just nice. It's a nice way to let us know what you think.
That made me feel good this last week. So you helped me make an attempt.
That's true.
Yep.
Now presenting Mr. Sunshine, Travis Brabin.
Well, thank you, Dan. Thanks, Mike. Thank you for this challenge that we've embarked on together. Yeah, I won't say that it was entirely enjoyable, but it was interesting. Like we said before, I think the takeaways for anyone listening to this would be, don't try to control your emotions, just kind of experience them, and use music, or try to use music to predispose yourself towards the moods that you want to be in. The second thing, obviously, is to give out more compliments. And do those things, and the world will both be brighter because you're in it, and it will seem brighter to you. That's all. Thanks, folks.
You did great.
Next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
So on the one hand, it's try to exert your will upon the universe, and on the other hand, it's yodel for 2 weeks. And if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying yodels.
Well, okay. Well, what is